What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Pure Evil. Check. Alright, guys, welcome back to Pure Evil MMA. We're going to be recapping UFC Mexico. It was not promoted that much, and it was pretty quiet, even though the main event, pretty big names there, especially for Moreno and Showtime Pettis' little brother, Sergio. But on top of it all, we just came off of UFC 214, Jones versus DC. Everyone was kind of spent. But check this out. 7 first-round finishes. So for everybody that did tune in, definitely wasn't disappointed. There's a lot of questions I have to ask after last night's fight. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I'm Evil Eddie from Pure Evil MMA. Make sure you're following me on Twitter at Pure Evil MMA, Facebook, and also Instagram. I made it so simple for everybody at Pure Evil MMA. But you know what? The first thing I really want to discuss here is Rashad Evans. Going into this fight, he hasn't won in a couple of years, I think since 2013. And going up against Sam Alvey, he really needed this win. No matter how he did it, he needed to go through Sam Alvey and just get the W. He didn't need to do anything flashy. You can tell he didn't want to take any risks, but honestly, he should have been pulling the trigger a little bit more. That goes for Sam Alvey as well. I don't know what was going on there. It kind of reminded me of the Silva versus Brunson fight in a way, where Brunson definitely had the power to finish it, go in on Silva, but never did. We saw that last night with Rashad Evans and Sam Alvey. Somehow, Sam Alvey ended up getting the win there. I actually scored this fight for Rashad. I gave him the first and second. Towards the third round, though, definitely tell he was getting a little tired. But, 2 solid takedowns. He landed a solid right hand in the third round, but really nothing there. Sam Alvey was just getting pushed up against the cage. He's been fighting a lot too, but he just wouldn't pull the trigger. So what's going on with Rashad Evans? I don't think he's released a statement yet, but as you can probably guess, definitely left a salty taste in his mouth after last night. He really needed that win. Where does this leave Rashad? I mean, this was the first guy to ever knock out Chuck Liddell. He's just not believing in himself, it seems like. So let me know what you guys think about Rashad. Should he return? What's going on with that? It's just so frustrating. I even picked Rashad to win. I thought that he was going to be able to edge it out over Sam Alvey. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to do that. So another controversial decision, in my opinion. I'm not going in order, but Randa Marcos, Alexa Grasso, very upset about that decision. Randa took her down plenty of times. I think she took her down twice in the second, and then once again in the third, I believe. But Grasso, first round, she looked really good. That was the only round I really gave to her. Then the second and third, Randa Marcos, and you can tell this girl's been improving every time she steps in there. But hot and cold, hot and cold. She wins one, loses one. She just came off that great win over Carla Esparza. She really needed a win last night. I thought she did enough, and a lot of you guys on Twitter thought she did enough as well. But they're down in Mexico. We all know how the judges, kind of see for their people. It was very close. It really was. It really came down to that third round. But I really thought Grasso didn't deserve this win. But she's moving forward. Let's give her a little stiffer competition. Maybe Paige Van Zant. I think that would be a great matchup for her. But Randa Marcos, man, it's got to definitely hurt. Like I said, hot and cold. But she made so many improvements, you can tell, for this fight. Very active footwork. The feints were there. The beautiful takedowns. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to get the win. It really did come down to that third round, and I really thought she edged it out. Let's talk about our main event before we talk about anything else. I'm sure that's exactly what everybody has got on their mind. Pettis did not look good in that very first round, so it kind of drew a weird picture in a lot of people's minds. Is this how the fight's going to play out? It's probably going to end soon. But Sergio was able to defend any submission attempt that Moreno was throwing at him. The second, third, and fourth round, Sergio was just piecing it together, picking his shots, really connecting the dots. Moreno looked like a goldfish in there, just mouth open, looking like a crazy man. taken no risks, though. In the second, third, or fourth round, I thought he could have done a little bit more. But Sergio was really able to piece that together. The flurry, the combos, and the movement of Sergio just looked absolutely amazing. But I'm not sure if he's ready for a title fight. I really don't. And you can tell he doesn't think he's ready yet either. Kind of the same thing that we were talking about last year with Rose Namajunas, after she beat Tisha Torres in that rematch where she was able to get the decision win. That's exactly what it reminds me of. I don't think Sergio would do as well against Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson. I mean, he had 5 rounds. He looked great for 3 of them. It's just, I just don't think he's ready. I think he should get another fight before that. What about Henry Cejudo? Match him up against Henry Cejudo. Let me know what you guys think about this fight on Twitter at Pure Evil MMA. Another standout fight on this card was Alan Jouban. Not able to get the win, unfortunately, against Nico Price. The Bun Brother. First round TKO finish for Nico Price. I wasn't too excited that Alan Jouban was coming back so soon. He was just coming off a loss to Gunnar Nelson. We all remember what happened there. He got rocked, did the chicken dance, and then was eventually submitted by Gunnar Nelson. So when this usually happens, I like to say that fighters should at least take 6 to 8 months off. Not saying sit on the couch and drink beers, but stay active. But at the same time, don't look too far ahead. Make sure you recover. We saw last night that, I don't know, Alan usually does start a little slow. You can tell that Nico Price was pouring the pressure on him, try to make him nervous, forcing him into the fight, and he got caught. However, if he didn't recover the right way after the last time that he was finished, I think that definitely played a little bit into it. So you can tell that he wasn't pulling the trigger enough there. Like I said, he does start off a little slow, but I think this was a fight that he could definitely have won, should have won, but unfortunately wasn't able to put it together. Nico Price gets the finish. Amazing finish, by the way. I hope that he, I don't know who got the bonuses, but he probably should have got 50 G's in my opinion. Dustin Ortiz, 14-second KO, quickest flyweight knockout in flyweight history in the UFC. Very impressive performance coming off that loss against Moreno. So big things coming for him. The Sandoval, man, he went in there, he cracked Ortiz, but Ortiz was just a little bit quicker, was able to get it right on the chin, and then finished with a combo, knocking Sandoval out in just 14 seconds. Beautiful finish on his part. Rani Yahya getting the submission, flawless. Absolutely flawless. He needed this win. In his last fight, he was standing up with his opponent. Didn't like that. It kind of reminded me of the last fight with T-City. He was standing up, trading, and just getting caught, pieced up. However, T-City did get the win. But that's what Yahya was doing in his last fight. I wasn't agreeing with that. Get your opponent to the ground. That's where you're gonna get the most out of it. And that's exactly what he did. He was able to get the submission, and now he's tied for the second most submission wins in bantamweight division. I'm pretty sure with 6. And that's 18 out of 24 wins by submission for Rani Yahya. So congratulations to him. He's still not ranked, though. I'd like to see him go up against a ranked opponent now. But guys, all in all, 7 finishes in the night. Sergio Pettis getting the win. I really don't think that he's ready for it. Randall Marcos gets robbed. Big wins, though, for UFC Mexico City. Did a lot better than a lot of people expected. Here's some bumming news, though. Gonna bum a lot of people out here. We don't have fights for a couple weeks here, guys. I think the next fight is in about 2 to 3 weeks, or maybe even a month. I think it's actually a month away from today. I think it's Struve versus. I gotta look back at it. But guys, you gotta get UFC Fight Pass. Tune in to Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series. Whether you want to listen to Snoop Dogg commentary, which is fun, but there's one thing I gotta say about it. It's a little disrespectful for these guys that are going in there, putting their all on the line, trying to get that UFC contract, and you got Snoop Dogg in there, kind of making fun of some of the fighters, whether they're getting submitted, singing lullabies and stuff like that. I love Snoop Dogg. This is a good idea if you're trying to bring some new people into it. It's definitely better than the Ultimate Fighter, in my opinion, past couple of seasons, but I think he's got to tone it back with some of the respect, not having respect for a lot of the fighters. And that also reminds me, last night they announced Ultimate Fighter Season 26 coaches Eddie Alvarez, Justin Gaethje. It's going to be for the strawweight female division. We got Lauren Murphy on there. A couple familiar names, but it's just kind of weird. I didn't think they would have two guys for the coach, especially Eddie Alvarez, who we all wanted to see Dustin Poirier rematch. That's what we want to see. Justin Gaethje is going in there, getting one of the best fights of the year against Michael Johnson. Now we got to wait, 8 more months, most likely, to see him fight again against Eddie Alvarez. That's going to be an exciting fight, but I'm just not into waiting that long. You just had him have one of the best fights of the year, but now you're going to put him on hold? I just don't think it's a good idea. Of course, you got him on FS1. He's going to be introduced to a new audience of people. He also fights pretty risky, so I kind of see how the UFC chose that route for him. But at the same time, give this guy another fight before you do this. It just doesn't make sense to me. It just didn't make sense that you're having these two guys coach. Everyone was pouring for the Eddie Alvarez versus Dustin rematch, so it's just an unfortunate thing. Speaking of Dustin Diamond, Sergio Pettis' older brother, Showtime, is saying that he's pushing for that fight. So we got that to look forward to. And I have to say this, Showtime Pettis looked amazing in his last fight against Jim Miller, showing us that he's got his confidence back. So hopefully we get a good performance out of him in that fight. If he beats Dustin Diamond, and right off the bat, I have to say, I am rooting for Dustin in that fight. Ultimate Fighter Season 26. Let me know what you guys think about this. Was this the right decision? Two guys coaching the girls. I just don't like it. I think they could have got better coaches. Even Michelle Waterson would have been a great coach for this season. She doesn't fight in the division that she's fighting in. She fights at a lower weight class. I'm pretty sure she used to be an atom weight. So why didn't you guys have her as the coach? She was just on ESPN Body Issue. What's going on there? It just doesn't make sense to me. And Eddie Alvarez and Justin, no one really knows who they are outside of the MMA diehards. So I don't know. They need to switch something up, which is why you guys should definitely get UFC Fight Pass and tune into Dana White's looking for Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series, because there's been so many amazing finishes, especially last week. Hawes got brutally knocked out. Not saying he wasn't performing well, he was, but he got caught with a head kick from hell. Highlight reel knockout. Exciting fights on there. Definitely better than the Ultimate Fighter of the past couple of years. But guys, UFC Mexico leaves us with a couple of questions like Rashad Evans. Is he all done? I just don't like that. I don't agree with the last two fights that he's had. I scored it for him in the last two fights. I don't know what's going on. You heard Kenny Florian saying it might be time for him to hang it up. You heard Brendan Schaub, who's to train under Rashad, saying if he doesn't win this fight against Sam Alvey, probably time to hang it up. Just a sad thing. I never say that. And I don't think Rashad should hang it up. I think he won that fight last night. I think he needs to build his confidence back. You can tell he was just so upset when they read off that decision. It was so close, too. That fight was real close. Unfortunately, Rashad was not able to get it done. He had 2 takedowns. He just wasn't pulling the trigger. But neither was Sam. Like, what did Sam do in that fight that got him the win? I could see them giving him the 3rd round, but come on. I didn't see it that way. I really didn't. Another bad decision was Perez versus Sukumath. Scored the first 2 rounds for Sukumath and the last round for Perez. Sukumath knocked him down 3 times. How did he not get the win? Especially when you got the new rules in effect. What's going down there in Mexico? I just didn't agree with the judges. I didn't. All in all, it was an amazing Make sure you guys tune in to Pure Evil MMA on Twitter, on iTunes, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Podbean, Stitcher, everywhere that you can find it. Episode 48 is now up. I spoke with Eric Rocha, who came off a 45-second knockout at Lion Fights, and also spoke with Blair Tugman, who has an upcoming fight against AJ McKee in Bellator just about 2 weeks here. Check it out. It's on YouTube, Facebook, and also on iTunes and Podbean at Pure Evil MMA. Have a great Sunday, guys. Last thing, behave yourselves.